Today we've got Hilary from genU with us for our part of our Ready to Launch series. And I'm a bit excited because I get to find out a bit about Hilary, and I haven't worked much with Hilary. She's fairly new in my space. So I'm really looking forward to finding out a little bit about you, but also what big pieces of information you've got for our young people and their families around their journey from school to the workplace. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited too.
Oh, that's good. Hey, I'm going to start because I know that you've worked in schools before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I was at Sacred Heart in a few different roles for almost 7 years. While I had a couple of young children while I was there. So I worked in a learning support role when I started at the school, and then went on to do some further study and moved into the careers department for a couple of years. Yeah.
So you've got a really unique, I suppose, perspective on what this journey looks like, because you've seen what it's like from school and now you're seeing it from the community side. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if you had to think of one or two things that really created success for young people as they were making that journey from school to work with support. What are those things that you feel that really helped with support?
Yeah, I think one of the main things that I've noticed, being really helpful for students is probably having access to information to be able to make an informed decision. You don't know what's out there if you haven't seen it before. And, the whole big wide world beyond school can be really intimidating for some students. So being able to access as much information as possible to be able to make a good decision that suits them at that point in time is really important. So whether that's having a look at different employers and different industries, or having access to what supports are available once they leave school, or any further study, there's lots of different avenues that students can take in terms of preparing to leave from school. So I think that, access to that information and exposure is really key from what I've seen, and being able to enter industries and workplaces whilst they're still at school is really big as well. So, being able to see what a workplace might look like while they're at school can help make those decisions when it comes to the time later on, ready to plan.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm speaking to you today you're out at the Ford factory.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're out there today?
Yeah, so I'm out at our genU Ford factory site. I was doing a tour with a young Year 12 student and his family today. So having a look at what the facility looks like and what a supported crew member position would look like in this space, to help make the decision on what he would like to do with his pathway when he finishes at the end of the year. So yeah, we had a look at our land care department, our shredding, our production, and we've sort of got lots of things in the works in the building. So yeah, we got to see all the different areas this morning, which was great.
Awesome. And Batforce was a big user of the genU shredding.
Yes.
Very easy to use, and no, it was great. We loved it.
Yeah, we have some really big contracts now with Barwon Health and Western Health as well. So, the crew members get to travel across pretty much half the state, all through Melbourne to Bacchus Marsh, to all the different sites, which is, it's really cool to think that they have some really great opportunities within this space. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So one of the things you talked about is have a bit of an idea about getting a look at what is available. What exactly does supported work experience look like? And that's one of the parts of this. What does supported work experience look like?
Yeah, so within our employment pathways team, our career employment practitioners support people to get into the workplace and have a look at how they can build skills within the industry that they're interested in. So we source customised and appropriate workplaces for students who require supported work experience, to provide a really supported environment where they can build their capacity within a workplace is probably one of the main factors of our support, which then will hopefully then lead to some open or hybrid models of employment in the future for the young person.
That's cool. So if a young person is going into work experience or into the workforce, we know some of our young people are going to need a little bit of support once they get there. Whose job is it to work with the employer to ensure that the right support's in place for that young person?
Yeah, so it's our role to support the young person to communicate what their support needs are. So identify them, understand them, and understand what supports they would need in a workplace, and then help them communicate that with the employer. So, we're putting them in we're putting them in an empowered position to be able to communicate and advocate for their support needs, and doing that in a supportive manner. So yeah, we will help communicate with the employer and with the school. So if we're providing supported work experience as part of a school work experience program, we sort of liaise with all of the key stakeholders to ensure that the young person is getting the right support, to be able to be as independent as possible within that experience.
Cool. I'm going to switch it up a little bit now. A couple of the families that we've spoken to in the past sort of talk about there's a number of different services out there. How do they choose things like that? Are young people and their families actually allowed to choose whoever they want to provide support?
Absolutely. So, we see it as that we're really lucky if a family or a young person chooses us to provide this support, because we understand that it is a really big life-changing experience for a lot of young people when they're transitioning from school into the workforce, and that, we see that as that we're really lucky to be part of that process with them. So absolutely, families have choice and control around which provider provides that support. We are one of many in the Geelong region at genU, and each service, I guess, provides a different model in how that support is delivered. So, you have lots of choice in terms of what suits you and the family circumstances as to what support you're requiring.
So I suppose part of that getting ready is for families sitting with their young person and thinking about the questions they want to ask when they come to you to
Absolutely.
customize the type of support that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And we understand that, if you're 16, 17, you might not know what you want to do, or you might not have exposure to different industries other than what family members are already in the workplace doing. So part of our journey is we have what we call a discovery and action plan, and we work through those goals and get an idea of strengths and interests. Everything that we do is based on the person's positives in terms of their strengths, and trying to grow from there. So yeah.
That's great. I'm going to really change it up now. What do you love about your job?
What do I love? I love working with young people, and especially, I guess, working in a high school probably says that, but working with teenagers is something that I really, really enjoy, because, you capture them at this moment where they, the world hasn't quite opened up yet for a 17-year-old. So being able to see those doors open and then see them follow through those steps to reach that goal, whether that's employment, further study, live independently, I find that really special to be part of that process. That's probably what I like the most. Yeah.
And I think it's amazing, and I love the fact that Geelong's got some really great people in these roles whose passion is to see people reach their great expectations. And
Yeah.
we talk about great expectations at Batforce all the time, and sometimes we go into a job thinking we can only do this much. And I
Yeah.
think we all get so excited when we realise that that young person can actually do a whole heap more.
That's it. And, you get to see every step of the way with that young person. As soon as that one door opens, another 10 opens. So, I just find that really special.
So on that topic though, if a young person's in a role and they feel like they've really grown in that role and they've almost grown out of it, like you grow out of a pair of shoes, that have done this role, but I actually think I'm ready to try something else.
Yeah.
Is it okay for them to change roles or come back to you and say, hey, I'm ready to take the next step?
Absolutely. So, the way we support people is that we provide ongoing support, I guess within what the funding allows. But once somebody secures their position, that they've reached their goal, they've secured, whether it's a volunteer position, a hybrid model, a supported employee position, we continue our support. We don't just stop once that goal is reached. We continue to provide that support, so that if that happens, they go, I actually think I could step up and go into, whether it's a management role, a supervisor role, or I want to change industries. We're there to help with that process. So absolutely. And especially for those young school leavers, like we said, you don't know every industry when you're 17 or 18. So you might see something along the way and go, I didn't even know that existed. Wow, I want to give it a try. That's our role, to help you explore that interest and, see if there's something there that might really suit that person. So absolutely.
Cool. And like you and I both started in schools, and schools are a very different environment to what it's like working for the
Absolutely.
community. Can you remember things you had worries about when you were moving from one area to another?
Yeah, absolutely. I think schools and young, families, young people, you've been in school for, what is it, 13 years by the time you graduate. That's a really big support network. So, I think you worry that that support maybe doesn't continue once they close those school gates, and you hope that we've set them up with enough supports to be able to reach those goals beyond those years. And then vice versa on the community side, I think we can only support them in sometimes we're, I guess, funding bound or something, but, we can only support them in the areas that we, I guess, are employed to support in. So, sometimes you can isolate gaps and we can help people advocate for more support. So, yeah, I guess it's different on each side of the fence, isn't it?
And look, I think that's a really good reminder. And I think we say it in every episode, is really have a look at those NDIS plans and think about
Yeah.
what supports are you leaning on in school now that
Mm.
you're potentially going to need out in the community. And, make sure we've got those in place well before we're coming into the workplace, so we know how to drive those supports when we're
Yeah,
trying something new.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've really enjoyed getting to know you and what you do. We big fans of genU and some
Thank
of the big
you.
work and innovative work you're doing out there. So, look, there's information on our support community wellbeing dashboard. I know Hilary and your colleagues have been looking at our dashboard and updating that. So for
Yeah.
families, jump on and have a look at what genU have to offer. And if they've got any questions, they can just contact genU, can't they? And they'll be put through to the right person.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So our contact team work with every department within genU, so you can absolutely reach out to them and they will send you in the right direction.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for giving up some time today, and
It's
enjoy having a
okay.
look at the Ford factory. I was there at a fundraiser many years ago when they rolled out the last ever car, and haven't been back there since. But it's a huge building, and
It
particularly for
is, and it probably
students,
looks a bit different since the last time you were here. Yeah.
totally. But for students, if this is something you're thinking about, get on board, give them a call, and say, "Hey, I want to have a look
Absolutely.
around and see what it looks like." We
That's it.
cannot be what we can't see. So.
That's it.
Right. Hey, thanks for your time today, Hilary,
Thank
and
you.
look forward to working with you more closely in the future.
That's it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.